Smoking hot coffee. 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 Smoking hot coffee.
Hello everybody, my name is Amol Patel. I'm here in Los Angeles. You're watching the Smoking Hot Coffee Show, where we cover internet startups, design, monetization, and marketing. I'm joined with...
Hey guys, I'm Jeff Pelton. I'm down here in San Diego.
And this is Cup 23, Jeff. We're cranking along. Of course, as with every time, if you want to reach... Jeff, he's at Comster, and I'm at Amul_Patel. So 23, Jeff, we're going to change it up today, right, Jeff?
Yeah, a little bit. Not too different, but yeah, what are you thinking for today?
I'm thinking that let's go through our numbers, and this will explain what we're going to do. So I'm going to go through our analytics as we do every week, and the point that I want to bring up here is the audience retention graph. Now, this basically shows anybody that puts up a YouTube video. I don't know if it's just partners, but I think everybody. It'll show you how many minutes a person has watched. So our most popular show, according to this, the retention, is cup number 13. So I'm going to go ahead and click on cup number 13. And check this out, Jeff. So 100% of the people watch the first 0 seconds,
Right.
which makes sense. And then as we go into the first minute, our audience drops by 40%. And then as we go into the fourth or sixth minute, we are now down to 20%, and then we just kind of trail. These are our super fans. Everybody that really gives a shit about us will watch. But obviously, we want to try to keep these audience retentions high. So, is it what we're talking about? Is it the first few minutes are gyrating to people? Are they upset? Is it that they watched a few minutes and like, this isn't for us? What do you think, Jeff?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it's great to look at this and try to figure that out. Obviously, we do spend some time at the beginning doing an introduction. As you said, a lot of people are just going to stumble upon this, check it out, and it's just not going to be for them. So, it's hard to break down the numbers with the exact, precision, because we don't know exactly who was viewing it. But in this video, I mean, let's take a look at minute 40, right? Is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So it spikes, right? Like you said, after, 4 minutes, we drop down to 20%, but then down to about minute 40, it spikes back up.
Yeah, it does.
So that's obviously for a reason. If you click on that, I think it takes you to that point in the video.
Okay. Does it? I'm clicking on it.
No?
No, nothing yet.
Or,
no.
Or you might have to click play on the video to get it going. But
I see.
I think if you skip to that point, it's I think when we covered Motion Loft. And so as we covered on the show, those guys noticed that we covered them, and they, I'm sure, checked out the video a couple times, maybe in their office. So,
yeah.
or had shared the link with their friends, and
Hello,
people
everybody.
had
My name is
specifically
Patel.
been jumping to that part of the video to check
wow,
that out.
Jeff,
So,
our graphics have certainly improved since Cup 13. Yes. I don't know what is going on. Clearly, Startups was checking out something specific. Either way, I felt like most of our videos we get a heavy drop off after about 10 minutes. So we're gonna try something different today. We're starting from today. We're gonna try to do these very short videos, and let's see how that goes, Jeff. Let's see if we can retain our audience all the way through, and if we can, then maybe we should just continue doing these short episodes than the long ones. What do you say?
yeah, we'll have to see. Like I said, it's hard to pull a direct story out of the numbers, but we can certainly keep watching the trends. But in YouTube in general, I think we have the assumption that shorter clips are better. So we'll try to be more succinct and to the point with some of our content.
Yep. So so far, according to our stats, we're up to 517 views. So clearly, there are people still watching. They may be only watching the first 5 minutes, but hey, they are watching.
Well, like I'm saying though, our average is 5 minutes. Like, the people who watch 30 minutes are going to pull that average way up, and someone who watches for 10 seconds is going
That
to pull that way down.
that's a good, very good point.
So, we really want to hear from you guys. If you have a feeling one way or the other, if we should do longer or shorter episodes, please let us know, because it really depends on your listening format.
Yeah.
Whether you're listening at work and you have the tab open in the background, or whether you're in the car and you're on a long drive and you don't care. So we really are sensitive to what you guys are actually doing out in the world. So let us know.
Yeah.
And hopefully you enjoy whatever we do today. Hopefully a shorter, abbreviated episode.
Okay, so with that, let's get into it. Yep. So our first startup here is a Microryza. Microryza. Is that how you pronounce it, Jeff? Hello? Jeff? Hello. Oh, I think his Skype might have crashed. Okay, everybody, we're back on. Skype crashed, but here we are at Microryza. Follow and fund scientific research. Find projects that interest you. Contribute directly to research. And get the results. When you fund science, we get closer to the moment of discovery. We all get closer. Okay, so this sounds like a sort of another crowdsourcing type tool for a very specific niche, science research. Now, doesn't Kickstarter have something like this where you can fund research, or do they offer a research type funding section? Jeff?
Maybe. I know people who have tried Kickstarter have sometimes found the boundaries and limits of it and tried other services that are similar, like Indiegogo or some others that have less restrictions.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm sure you could do similar projects like these on Kickstarter, but the Microryza is probably going to offer a more tailored solution, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
For scientific research.
For scientific research, and they probably have a very, possibly a strong community around scientific research, and they can really push to dominate that vertical. So
I think what is Kickstarter doing mainly is kind of helping in the promotion department, right?
Yeah,
the
that's
distribution. So
yeah,
if these guys have the audience of the scientific community, then Kickstarter isn't really going to offer much.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I completely agree. It ultimately boils down to the audience from your community. So, so here we go. So we've got this large sort of banner in the middle, and looks like a guy massed in a circle. Can spotted hyenas be used as an indicator species? Okay, this is very different from the typical crowdsourcing type of layout, and then it's showing the now we're seeing the indicator of how much of the gold has been funded. So I have seen that. I'm interested in the way they're framing this, though. Can spotted hyenas be used in? Okay, so
I have no idea what that means.
I have no what an indicator
is, but I guess you could view the project, or you want to look at the other ones below.
I do want to look at the other ones. So each one is basically a question. So basically, science is essentially asking questions of nature, right? So I guess they're all asking, was the I can't even pronounce that. Daspeletors a cannibalistic scavenger? Clearly a dinosaur from back in the day. Yeah, these are interesting questions. Can lung cancer be caused by viruses? Okay, so that's really cool that they have.
So I'm really curious. They have that one has 60% funded of a $5,500 goal.
Mm-hmm.
So my immediate question is that enough to answer that question?
That's a very good. Very good.
'Cause that's a big question, right?
Yeah. So here we are at their sort of detail page, and we have sort of this similar sort of left column, right column, and the right column is basically your indicators of what's going on. So far they've got 60% funded. They've got about a month. There's a university thing here. That's kind of interesting. They've got a university attached to this. Underneath that, they've got this thing called open access, and then behind that, we've got a large graphic. And to me, this feels a little empty. It feels like they should have a video here or something else. Yeah. But that's fine if they want to go ahead and just leave it open and show the lung thing back here. But I would have laid this out a little bit differently. But now we've got the 3 tabs, and we're at the overview tab, and it kind of goes through the goals of this project, who the people are. There's this thing called lab notes, and this is where that specific vertical has a unique way of laying out their stuff.
Right.
You're not going to go on Kickstarter and find a lab notes tab. They'll probably have that.
It's sort of another way to say blog post, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So they'll have updates, so they'll have another way of saying it. But it's a way for them to kind of, brand themselves unique to the startup community, and then results. So when you help fund this project, oh, okay, you get a beautiful journal of the results. Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
That's
Neat.
very interesting. So you're kind of funding it, and then
Oh wow. Okay.
you basically get, this is what you get. You get like,
Yeah. So
right?
unlike Kickstarter, so yeah, so let's step back real quick. This is way different than Kickstarter.
Hmm.
Kickstarter has actually tried pretty hard, I think, to distance themselves from the concept of a store, but people generally are going to Kickstarter to buy things.
To buy things.
Um, it's, set up where you're funding a project and you may or may not get your money back or even a product in return, but
Right.
certainly people are on there. Like I got a dock for my iPhone,
Okay.
but it took, probably 3 times longer than they said it would.
Yeah,
But they
yeah.
probably had to make 1 million instead of 30,000 like they thought or something. So,
Right, right.
but you come to a site like this, I think just based off the homepage, my impression would be my donation is what I'm getting in return is an answer from science, right? Like I'm pushing science forward.
Yeah.
Getting the questions answered.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have much of an expectation at all of a physical product in my hands.
Yeah.
So this is much more of a charitable donation type.
Yeah, I guess it is. You consider it as
Product,
charitable donation. You're not really getting. You're getting an answer for the original, the scientist or whoever the researcher's question. But really, what's in it for everybody else? I guess everybody else wants to know the answer to this awesome question.
Yeah.
Viral does I guess virus cause lung cancer? I guess these 23 people clearly want the answer to this question. It's important to them. It's important enough for them to donate. I don't know what
Yeah.
the minimum amounts are, and it doesn't really show me that. Wait, it does say how will this fund be used. It doesn't say how much though. But there is a video. There's a Vimeo video that I can look at.
I like the breakdown of the funds right there. It's
Yes.
nice to know what the money is going to, right? It's not just for his time. It
Yeah.
looks like it's for 400 specimens and the cost per specimen and
Yeah.
testing of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
And it looks like in thirds. So
yeah, I like the way they broke it down. It'd be kind of interesting to take different verticals and to break down where the money's going. And so when people are spending it, they can actually see an information graphic beyond your typical video on your your list, your comments, or if backers and their responses. This is another interesting data point that you can add to a project to try to get it funded. But all in all, it's a very cool idea. I wish these guys luck. Any final thoughts, Jeff?
yeah, I was just leaving my ratings. I think this is very well designed.
I agree. It's really beautifully designed.
So some of that text was a little bit bold and hard to read, but otherwise, I think the overall aesthetic is very clean throughout the site.
Yep, yep.
Very appealing. We definitely were excited to dive in, and those pages, the detail pages, weren't bland, which can happen when you have a template format for all the projects.
And if you don't exactly, and if you don't have a lot of content, it start looking kind of empty. Yeah, but I completely agree with you. Originality, probably a 3. I agree with you there. I think they're probably not terribly original, but it is a nice vertical, and they're going after it. That's really great. Survival, I give these guys a 4. Same for you, because they're going after a niche. That helps a lot. And for me, honestly, Jeff, this is tied to marketing. I saw that university there, and that got me excited. I would love this to become affiliated with many of these institutions that we have in this country and around the world.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they can market and spread this is all going to be word of mouth. Hopefully, the people that host the projects are going to tell people. And, people love to share this kind of stuff, right? This is actually stuff for good, and your donation to it's going to hopefully solve problems for people that are, of great importance, right? It's not just the kind of fun projects that tend to be on Kickstarter that sometimes are more artsy or cultural than they are maybe, for the benefit of our health. So this is really good to see someone trying to make a dent in this space.
I completely agree. Jeff, I've noticed that you haven't put your 10 words of
Yeah,
wisdom on
sorry.
here.
Not thinking quick enough on my toes.
Okay,
I
that's
guess I'm
fine.
just
That's
speaking
fine. As
myself.
he does that, let's move on. Here we are at OwnMutually. Okay, OwnMutually.com. That's a great name, by the way, because it's easy to remember. And OwnMutually, yeah, OwnMutually.com. Yeah, it's a great name. So now we're basically on a landing page. These guys are pre-launch. It looks like they're generating leads here, or they're doing their initial press launch or whatever. So we've got this animation. Is this Flash? That isn't Flash. And we've got these kind of three sort of avatars, icons rather, and they're all basically connecting to a house, a car, a boat, a plane, a camera. Very neat. So own your passion at a fraction. Is there something you'd love to own, but it's too expensive for you to buy outright? We want to help you get it sooner by crowdfunding the purchase and sharing the ownership with like-minded people. If you'd like to know more, register your interest now. This is awesome, Jeff. This is like so cool. We are in the sharing economy, the mesh economy, whatever you want to call it. I'm a big believer in time sharing everything, especially big purchases. Maybe not so much car, especially in LA because everybody uses their car a lot. But in certain cities where you don't use your car a lot, maybe San Francisco, whatever, New York.
How about a camera? They show a camera.
Camera
on the
is
page,
brilliant.
So a lot of us like to have a nice, expensive camera.
Yeah.
But may not always get the most use out of it. Right?
I completely agree.
Or that's something that really makes a lot of sense to share. Where
absolutely,
unless you have it sitting, you're using it as a webcam or something permanent.
Yeah.
That's something you can say, hey, I want to use it for the weekend. I want to use it for half a day or whatever, and you kind of go out and have a photo session, right?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. This whole time sharing thing is awesome, especially for the passionate people that have expensive hobbies. Camera equipment is right up there. It's definitely one of the passionate things that people get really into, but it's expensive. Lighting,
like lenses, right?
Was it lenses? Exactly, lenses, lighting, all of that. I can't really think of anything else. Maybe I guess people get into cars, right?
So you're kind of telling the story for these guys. What do you think about their homepage? I mean, we can imagine all of these things, and the icons are kind of making us dream up our own stories here. Do you think that's doing enough to get people to put in their email address?
For me right now, it's enough, but I do think that they could have, of course, expanded this out, had some beautiful photography, done, and some use cases ready on the site.
Yeah, to me, the use cases, they could tell a single story or two of somebody who really needed to share something, just one or two stories of this working to explain it to people. I mean, I guess the infographic, the animation is kind of doing that.
It kind of does that, but I agree. We'd like to see more. This is clearly they're still early.
Plus, what is the product? A mobile app, a web app?
Web app, whatever.
I mean, I think a lot of people have thought about this kind of stuff. It's just a matter of how do we, chicken and egg problem, and how do we get the internet to solve this for us, right?
Yeah. And we've seen this. We've seen this in the past. We just covered a boating thing, right, with a guy that we do the boat. So these guys are trying to bite off a lot. I'd love to see these guys figure out which one. Zipcar is another one. I mean, that's a huge company. So there's a lot going on here. It's a huge vision. I'd love to see how they're going to execute. Of course. Motion graphic and landing page is obviously not enough, but so far it's a cool idea. I give these guys a 3. Yeah, I give it a 3. Originality, same thing, 3. Survival, I probably give it a 2, maybe even. And marketing, 2. I don't see anything yet. Niche it out, guys.
Do you remember how you may have seen about these guys? I mean, have they been in the news, or are they picking up any traction?
I don't remember where I saw these guys, but I remember in my feed somewhere. But
okay.
So they're clearly getting out there. I would just love to see more.
I'll
Jeff,
put my email in there and see what comes up.
Yeah, so Jeff, I think this is basically it for us today. This covers our 10 minutes, right? It's more than 10 minutes. So, all right, so here we are, guys. We're going to cut it short today, and we're going to see if these are actually gaining traction. We want audience retention, and we actually want more people watching the show. So please send your comments, feedbacks, anything you want to say to @Comster or @Amul_Patel.
Yeah, let us know what you guys want to talk about, because we're trying to figure out if we can bring in more news sources, news articles, like stuff that's going on recently that we can talk about that affects the industry, as well as other segments that we've kind of featured, but we're thinking about doing more regularly, like the rage tweets, or bringing other content in than just reviewing startups. So we really want to get your guys' opinion on that.
Yeah,
please let us know.
So this show went out above 10 minutes. We're at 19 minutes now. So hopefully we'll get somebody listening to at least 12 minutes. So anyhow, please tell your friends, send this along, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, see you tomorrow.